New Selection Box Mini, and Konami has lost their mind. Alternative art for Cyber Dragon, Witch of the Black Forest, and what is this? Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Many are saying this will change the whole meta.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go.
All right, starting from the top, we have alternative art Cyber Dragons. So it looks like they are having a different way to give out alternative art. Pay money for it, put it in the selection box, okay. You also get to just have Cyber Dragon for your Cyber Dragon deck, which is very good. You want to play at least one Cyber Dragon for your Cyber Dragon deck. You don't have to dig for an old box anymore. Hop on in it. And selection boxes, if it's your first time to a selection box, they are limited time. You do not get to choose when you want these for as long as you want. It's out for a little bit. It's a reprint of a lot of old cards in addition to the new cards. Speaking of reprints, here are reprinted cards. We have Vendrid Slayer. We have Mole Hue Element Saber. This is tier 1. Galaxy Cyclone, Forbidden Lance, Black Whirlwind, Fortune Lady Every. This card's being used in Lightsworn a lot. Dragoony Ducks, not top tier. Triamid's not top tier. Hey, Trunade, you might want to pick that up. More Triamid support with the field spell. We have Element Saber, field spell, which is good. Tier 1 deck. Magnetic Field using magnets, not top tier. Super Team Buddy Force Unite. This card is so much fun in many cog-worthy decks. I'm still making decks with it. It's also being used in top tier decks. You definitely want to pick this up. And Treacherous Trap Hole. All of you fools missing out on Treacherous. Now you can pick it up for a limited time. It's also worth noting that the selection box is only, you could buy some of it with packs with gems and the rest have to be with money. But they are really good deals for cards that you do need for top tier decks. So make sure to check out the website for each one, what cards you're missing. Hop in on it. We're going to talk about Witch of the Black Forest, a brand new card that they mix with the reprinted cards. If sent from the field to the grave, add a monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You cannot activate the card effects of that card that turn. This is similar to Sangan. Sangan searches for 1500 attack or lower. This searches for defense. Back in the day, it did not have that restriction of not being able to activate the card effects of that card. Well, a good way to use Sangan is to summon, special summon a level 3 tuner, the Wielder, Synchro, then search for Sphere Kribo. You're not going to use it that turn. You're going to use it on your opponent's turn, so that's a perfect use of Sangan. And you don't really have that option with the Witch of the Black Forest, so what's going to make it good? Well, it's dark, it's a spellcaster, and it being a spellcaster means you could use it with Wonder Wand. Equip it onto it, tribute it, draw 2. Magician Girls and Dark Magician are using Wonder Wand. Not all of them, but some Dark Magician are using it. Get drawing. Why? We're not even searching Invoker with Sangan, so we're going to need some really good use with Witch of the Black Forest, which cannot even search for Invoker. What Witch can search for is Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod cannot be searched for with Sangan, and because it's a dark spellcaster, as we already said, it could be used with Wand, already being used in some Dark Magician decks. It could even be special summoned from the deck onto the field with Magician Navigation. So if you don't have your Rod or you want to search another Rod, summon it onto the field from the deck. If it gets destroyed, sent to the graveyard, Econ taken, use Illusion Magic, tribute it, then you get to search for your Magician's Rod. Maybe play just one in a Dark Magician deck. Definitely want to consider it. Otherwise, you could use it in a Silent Magician deck. Now, Sangan could search for Silent Magician, but to summon Silent Magician, you must tribute a spellcaster monster, so it's got the synergy. Spellcaster, use with Wand, tribute it for Silent Magician, also search for a Silent Magician. The verdict is use with Dark Magician and Silent Magician. Now, the next card, Prideful Roar. Pay life equal to the difference in attack of your monster battling with another. You're going to gain that much you paid in life and attack, plus 300 additional attack. This is damage calculation. What does that mean? Invoker is damage step. Concentrating Current is damage step. What does that mean? It means you cannot respond to Prideful Roar with Invoker. So when you get to the damage step, you can activate Invoker, then you get to damage calculation. You can no longer activate Invoker. I could flip up Prideful Roar. You're not going to be able to respond to it with your Invoker nor Concentrating Current. So it does beat Invoker. It does beat Concentrating Current. They can't respond. You get to see the attack buff boost. But if they boost themselves to 10,000 attack, you're not going to have 10,000 life to boost up your monster anyway. It's just to show that damage calculation is different than damage step. So maybe using gladiators. And for reference, Mirror Wall is damage step, not damage calculation. So people get to respond to Mirror Wall, but they're not going to be able to respond to Prideful Roar. Karma Cut. Discard a card, then target a face-up monster, banish it, then banish all cards with the same name as that monster in your opponent's graveyard. Now, this card is very comparable to a card called Raigeki Break. Raigeki Break, you discard, destroy anything. Face down, face up monster, face up, face down back row. This only hits a face up monster, but it banishes and banishes all copies in the grave. So if you banish an Ancient and all copies from the grave, that is devastating. If you were to destroy the Ancient, it would summon a Blue-Eyes White Dragon in the end phase. Ancients is not only a good target for Karma Cut, it's also a good card to discard to use Karma Cut. So potentially in the mirror match, Karma Cut and Blue-Eyes White Dragon, expect it. Now, you can use Karma Cut on Invoker. Invoker on summon grabs Invocation, they activate Invocation. You chain Karma Cut onto Invoker, will banish it. It will fizzle out their fusion spell, which they will then get to shuffle back in the deck and add Invoker back to the hand, but they already normal summoned, is what I'm assuming. So it could stop the fusion. It could be decent against Kristrons. If you hit a Kristron where they have multiple copies in the grave, banish all of them. It could be good against Blackwings. We all know with the yugioh, resummoning the Blackwings from the grave, just banish and no longer can they resummon. Banish that Raikiri, it's gone from the game forever. United we stand. Equip onto a monster, gains 800, including itself and other monsters you control. This card was so good. In 2004, it was banned. Most of you were not even born yet. Oh my, 16 years ago, they had to ban this card in the TCG. But it's not that good compared to a card like Power of the Guardian, which gives you 500 on every attack and also protects your monster from all forms of destruction. Maybe used with farming. We looked at the statistics of Mage Power on duellinksmeta.com, not being used in any recent King of Game decks nor a top tier deck. But I do believe United We Stand is potentially better than Mage Power. Maybe for farming, I don't know. You'll figure it out. I'm not a farmer. Fairytale Rella. This card says neither player could target monsters on the field with spell cards or effects except this one. Not really too relevant, but its other effect is what we care about. It's 1850. It's a spellcaster. You could discard a spell to equip a spell card from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And it can be searched for with Witch of the Black Forest. So both of these cards being spellcasters means they work with Wonder Wand. Wonder Wand will draw 2 cards. This is a great way to turbo out the Wonder Wand. Just discard a spell, draw 2 cards. That could be used in pretty much any deck if you want to put Wonder Wand in it. You could also grab a Mord Schlag, which deals with special summon monsters. You know, maybe just make an equipped deck and have Witch of the Black Forest and make it more consistent with Rella. My fear with this card is it's not going to be used in a fun King of Game worthy deck. Hopefully it is. I'm going to try to use it in one. But my fear is it's going to be used in a toxic combo deck like Exodia or First Turn Kill, since it could easily draw 2 cards with Wonder Wand, get drawing. The big meat of the selection box is Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Oh my. This could very quickly be placed in nearly every deck on the tier list. It doesn't mean it's going to be great in every deck, but it could be used in every deck on the tier list pretty much. Any deck with light or dark monsters. What does it do? It's 3,000 attack. You special summon it from your hand by banishing any combination of 3 lights and darks from the grave. It could be 3 light, 3 dark, 1 light, 2 dark, any combination. And on summon, it will activate. It's an optional activation on summon. And when you choose to activate its effect, it cannot attack that turn. And the effect you activate is going to be based on what you banished. If you banished 3 lights to summon it, you can special summon a monster from your grave in face-up defense. If you banished 3 darks to summon it, you can return a random card from your opponent's hand back into the deck. Kiteroid, Sphere Kribo, back in the deck. Now the main effect you really want to use it for, so this would be a dark only deck, a light only deck. Ideally, you have a light and dark deck. You banish a combination of 3 light and darks on summon. It will destroy 2 cards on the field and it does not target. What does not targeting mean? It means when I choose destroy that and that, you can't say, okay, I'm going to flip up those cards, I'm going to chain those cards. No. they go to the grave. When I activate this and you have multiple back row and you don't know what I'm going to destroy, you have to flip up your cards early. A lot of people will misplay. They're not going to flip up their cards early like Enemy Controller or Treacherous. You're going to destroy those cards and they cannot even respond. And because it doesn't target, that means it deals with Saber Dancer, which is a huge, huge monster, usually or almost 4,000 attack when on the field, cannot be targeted, can be destroyed by the Levianeer with the Destroy 2 cards effect, and it's Destroy up to. So even if you were to thinking of playing around the Levianeer by having just the Saber Dancer on the field, it destroys up to 2 cards. Destroy up to. That's a big thing. That's a big deal. Otherwise, if it only destroyed 2 monsters or 2 back row or 2 either of your opponent's cards, you could just summon 1 and play around it. But nope, you can't play around it. Now, likely the best use of this card will be in Thunder Dragons. And with that said, let's very quickly replay combo with Thunder Dragons. It's our opponent's turn. Our opponent, YouTube, this is the highlight. Discard Dark to add a Dark. All right, gonna draw for our turn. And now, what we could do is we could Hawk, discard to summon a Dark onto the field. Then we can Tribute Summon over the Dark for a Dark, triggering Dark to grab. We add Dragon Matrix. Then we discard Dragon Matrix to boost the Dark up by 500. Then we banish Light, Dark, and Light to summon Levianeer. So that is a turn 1 Levianeer after our opponent goes. Then on summon, it will destroy up to 2 cards on the field without targeting. So that's a good example of a turn 1 Levianeer. Get poppin', double pop. Another good deck to potentially use in would be in a Lightsworn Dragon deck, because you could use it with your Eclipse Wyvern. Let's talk about ways to search this card. Levianeer, after seeing that crazy replay, which of the Black Force, if sent to the graveyard, could search it? It's also a Dark, so you could banish it after searching for the card. Melody of the Awakening Dragon, you discard any card, search for 2 Levianeers, and Eclipse Wyvern in a mill deck. If you mill Eclipse Wyvern or it's sent to the graveyard, it will banish the Levianeer. Then if the Eclipse Wyvern is banished by any card effect, anything that banishes it, it will add Levianeer that's banished back to your hand. So that could be good in a Chaos Lightsworn deck, lots of milling, lots of Chaos monsters, banish, then add to your hand. Now, in that Chaos Dragon deck, you could use it with Light Pulsar Dragon. Light Pulsar Dragon says, when this card is sent from the field to the grave, you could target a level 5 or higher Dark Dragon in your graveyard, special summon it. It could special summon Levianeer, but Levianeer on special summon through Light Pulsar is not going to activate its effect. It's just going to be 3,000 attack, and it can only be special summoned if it was properly summoned first. To summon Light Pulsar, you could discard a Light and Dark to summon from the grave, or you could banish a Light and Dark to summon from the hand. Now, very quickly within the reprints, what are proven top tier cards? These are cards that are regularly being used in top tier decks. So that means a card like Super Team Buddy Force Unite recently winning a tournament. It was a text card, not a core card. It's not being regularly used enough, but it is still a great card. So make sure you check out the cards themselves. A good way to check out each card from the sets are very easy to just type in Buddy. You type in Buddy, you click on it, and it will show all the latest decks, what they did, first place in this, check it out. So if we click on this Anytime tournament, it got first place, even though it's not regularly used enough. This is not even a top tier deck, but that's a good way to search for the cards you want. So the provably top tier cards that are being used regularly in the selection box that you want to pick up for a limited time are Treacherous Trap Hole used in Dark Magician, Palace of the Elemental Lords being used in Element Sabers, Molehiu used in Element Sabers, Black Whirlwind used in Black Wings, Cyber Dragon used in Cyber Dragon, and Forbidden Lance is being used in Crystron's. That is it for the provably regularly used cards from top tier decks. That is the selection box review. Get it!